Today we're going to be talking about macros, what they are, and why they're important to calorie counting. What is up, everybody? Cody here once again, and I was looking for something more diet related to talk about, so I figure what better way to start than talking about macros. What are macros? Why are they important? What do they have to do with calorie counting and all that good stuff? Before we jump into all of those questions in this video, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit that bell so you know when I'm uploading, and of course, drop a like on the video. Let's jump right into this. So, first question, what the heck is a macro? Macro is actually short for macronutrients, which is basically the three things that make up really all food and its calories. So the three macros are your protein, your fat, and your carbs. Each one is worth a certain amount of calories per gram. So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories, 1 gram of fat equals 9 calories, and 1 gram of carbs actually also equals 4 calories. So obviously you're going to get the gist that this is going to make up your entire calorie count. So for all the calories you eat, there's a certain percentage of each. So there could be 20% protein, there could be 60% carbs. And of course, this is going to vary from every food you eat. For example, a cookie, let's take a cookie. Cookies may be 200 calories, and it's going to be high carb, possibly higher fat, and a couple grams of protein. So you're going to have a higher percentage of carbs and fat. Let's say the carbs like 50% of the cookie, the fat could be like 40% of the cookie, and then the protein's going to be whatever percentage is left over. As mentioned earlier, fat is worth more calories. So you're going to have a lower number of fat, so less grams of fat, 2 grams of carbs, but it's going to account for a higher percentage because it carries more of a load of the calories. So why are macros important? I'm sure most people think that it's just as easy as eating more or eating less. That is not always true, because you could have 2 people eating the same amount of calories each day, but one could be having a high carb diet and one could be having a low carb diet. The one with the low carb diet is going to have much leaner muscle mass, and then the one with the higher calorie diet is going to have most likely less leaner muscle, slightly more body fat. So why is that? So the body actually burns through macros in the order of carbs first, fat second, protein last. So the best way I can explain this is with weight loss. That's why they recommend for weight loss, you eat less carbs and a lot of protein. You're actually eating the bunch of protein because that is at the bottom of the list. Your body needs that for sustenance, so you're not hungry. You have something stored in your body that it can use for energy. And then they tell you to eat the no carbs because it burns the carbs first, the fat second. So guess what? If there's no carbs in the way of your body burning, then it has to burn through some of that fat before it can get to the protein. That's why they say the low carb diets are good for the lean muscle mass, because you're eating all this protein for the muscle gain and you're not eating a lot of carbs, so it's burning through those carbs and then it's just tearing through that fat, and then you're keeping the lean muscle mass with the protein. Of course, scientifically it's much more complicated than that, but for the basis of bodybuilding and fitness, that's really what we're going off here in the order of burning them and the low carb, high carb diets. So what does this have to do with calorie counting? As I mentioned before, it's very important because the percentage of what you take in can greatly affect what your body is going to do with the calories. Like I said, you could have 2 people having the same amount of calories but completely different body types. So it really depends on what you want to do. If you're counting calories for weight loss, you're going to want to do that higher protein, lower fat, lower carb, because again, I mentioned it in the last section, your body needs the protein to maintain the muscle mass and then the carbs and fat. But with that, you'll feel slightly less energized because your body doesn't have those quick digesting carbs, getting it going, something to burn off very quickly. If you're bulking, you're eating a surplus like I am, you're going to want to do more fat and more carbs. So right now I'm actually around, I believe, 20% protein, 30% fat, 50% carb. So it comes up to something like 500 carbs a day. I'm not sure about the fat, and then like 215 grams of protein. If you're setting up calorie counting, you really want to figure out your protein first. If you're trying to gain that lean muscle, my rule of thumb is between your body weight in grams of protein per day to your goal body weight in grams of protein per day. This is really mainly for bulking. If you're trying to cut, I would recommend just starting at your body weight. But again, I'm not a scientist or anything. This is just personally what I've learned in my experiences with fitness. So you start with your protein, you figure that out, maybe around your body weight in protein, and then you figure out your fat and carb ratio depending on what your goals are. If you're trying to gain weight, you're going to want to do more, which is going to increase your calorie count. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to do less, which will lower your calorie count. And online, there's a million macro calculators that you can use to figure out what you want to do with your body type, whether you want to gain weight or lose weight. So we won't get into that right now. I'm just trying to explain the basis of macros and what it had to do with the calorie counting itself. So in a regular diet, maybe you're not seriously bodybuilding, you're not seriously cutting. In a regular diet, which macros are important? And the only answer I can give to you is all of them. The average healthy person needs all of them. Don't listen to these keto diets or this and that is the healthiest. You need a healthy balance of all of them. You don't want to eat too many carbs, you don't want to eat too much fat, and you don't even want to eat too much protein. So protein's great. It's a building block of the body, it's a building block of muscle, but you don't need a ton of it. If you just eat insane surpluses of protein, it's just going to excrete right out of your body and you're just completely wasting your time. So you need a healthy balance of all of them, maintain a healthy lifestyle, and the best part is if you're really paying attention and counting them, if your body fat percentage is going up, you can play with the macros and bring them down. If it's going too low, then maybe you need to up your carbs and fat. The macros are very cool to keep track of because it's really going to be the basis of your body type. Of course, not instantly. Changing your macros drastically isn't going to have you changing overnight, but over time, you may see the body fat going up and you can be like, oh, I must be eating too much carbs and fat and not enough protein. And yeah, guys, it's a very basic concept. I just wanted to talk about that today to really start diving into talking about diet and things like that. So stay tuned. I'm going to do more weight loss, weight gain. Like I said, I'm currently on a bulk, so I'm trying to gain weight. So I'd love to do more videos on that, like what I'm working on, what I'm eating, all that good stuff. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys would like to see related to diet or even working out and things like that. But yeah, guys, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, like the video, drop that comment, and tune in for next video. Thank you guys so much for watching.